Section 5, source of Nigerian laws. Now, when you're talking about source of laws, we are talking of the origin. Where is it coming from? The source of water, the source of the air we breathe. So laws of a land has its source. So we are going to explore the source of Nigerian laws, sources of Nigerian laws, the knows where the Nigerian law came from. Okay. Number one source of Nigerian law is English law. Now, Nigeria was colonized. It's enough fact that we are colonies of Britain. So most of the law they use, we are still used in Nigeria today. So those laws that are inherited from them is what we know as English law. Next. Categories of English law. There are categories of English law. They are divided into two. English status made to apply directly to Nigeria. And then the revised English laws. So under the English law that's made to be applied directly to Nigeria, these are the laws that were done during the colonial era. So the colony deadline is the part of the Majesty's command or dominion, you know. So we under the legislative of the Kingdom of United Kingdom. And the term received law refers to those part of English law that form part of our corpus juris through the domestication by our own local enlargement. Received English law is different from those English status made to apply directly to Nigeria because the former is applied through the instrumentality of our local enlargement. The difference is that the received law are those laws that are obtained in England. So, but they are already domesticated by our own legislation, rather than the one that were made for us by the British. So that's just the thin line between two of them. Received Nigerian laws. Under received Nigerian laws, we have common law, we have equity, we equally have statute of general application. Common law. Common law is a body of unwritten laws based on the legal precedents established by courts. Common law influences the decision-making processes in unusual cases where the outcome cannot be determined based on the existing statutes and written rules. So this is what common law is all about. So it is the law that was not local but common to the whole England. It signifies that the law is not as a result of legislation. That is, the law created by custom of the people and decision of the judges. That's the common law. Equity. Like I said before, equity came into place to abridge the deficiencies in common law. You know, equity means the kind of law. Equity means the kind of law developed by the Chancery Court in England for sole purpose of mitigating the harshness of common law. The inception of doctrines of equity was to do justice. Where common law was silent, it should, however, be noted that where there is conflict between equity and common law, equity will supersede. This was corroborated in Elov, Oxford case. The next book. The third one, the status of general application. Statute of general application. Statutes through which England laws were received in Eastern and Northern protectorates. Now, before now, Nigeria was an amalgamation of North, then, and South. Northern protectorates, we have the Eastern protectorates, and then I think the Western protectorates. So, which broadly they were North and South, but they were later amalgamated to what we now know as Nigeria. Before the amalgamation, The laws that are operational in the northern part of Nigeria is different from the ones that are operational in the southern part. But upon amalgamation, the laws were harmonized and they had a common law. It says, and the Federal Capital Territory of Lagos then provided for the statutes of general application that were enforced in England on the first day of January 1900. Statutes of general application can be defined as those laws that were applied to the British dependencies at a particular date, first day of January 1900. The regular manner which existed among the people generally in a way applicable to mankind. Note this date, very, very important. That was the time the status of general application is in vogue. And these laws, as at then, still live and workable. Another source of law is by legislative enactment. Like I said, we have various legislative bodies. We have the Senate, House of Rep at the federal level. At the state level, we have the houses of assembly, and then at the local government level, where they make bylaws, we have the councillors. The councillors, we call them the legislators as well. So they make bylaws for the local government, whereas at the state level, they make laws that guides the operations in the state. Whereas at the federal, we have the Senate and the bicameral legislative, the legislature, the Senate and the House of Rep. So all the laws made by these bodies are known as legislative enactments. They come as bills. From bills, they reenact them as law. So Nigerian legislation includes the Nigerian Constitution. These are laws that they made ordinances, they made acts and laws and decrees. For instance, during the military era, they issued decrees. Those ones are laws that were made under enactment. So note that legislation here also means subsidiary undelegated legislation. Both are laws enacted in the exercise of power conferred on the primary lawmaking body. The customary laws to Islamic law. The customary law has been defined as the organic or living law of indigenous people of Nigeria, regulating their life and transaction. It is regulatory in that it controls the life transactions of the community subject to it. Even though some customary laws are now declared by court to be repugnant to natural justice, equity, and good conscience, it is still one of the sources of Nigerian law. Now, this source of Nigerian law is common among a group of people that have common interests. Among the ethnic groups, you find out that there are some laws that are in place in some of these environments that when you take it to another society inside Nigeria, they will be very alien. So these laws are emanated from their way of life, their custom. But these days, due to the modern way of doing things, some of these laws that have been viewed by court as repugnant to natural justice and equity have been jettisoned. So they are no longer operational. Islamic law, the law that governs the Islamic faith, is largely written in a written form. The sources of Islamic law are Holy Quran. The practice of the Prophet, the Sunnah, and the consensus of Islamic scholars, the analytical deductions from the Holy Writ. This is known as Sharia. The sacred law of Israel, that's the meaning of Sharia. The predominant version of Islamic law in Nigeria is that of Maliki school. Before any legislation is made by the legislator, the custom and tradition of every society is usually considered, because the customary law of the people, Nigeria, still contribute immensely to the presence of lawmaking in Nigeria. Nigerian case laws. Nigeria's case law as sources of law is the pronouncement of the judiciary, pronouncement of the courts over the period on matters. Other courts refer to these matters and say according to the words of J.C. so of the Supreme Court. They are known as precedents, and by so doing, they can be used as a panacea or a yardstick to arrive to a conclusion by other judges. So these laws, as long as they are being used, they are known as Nigerian case laws. So we have international laws. In international laws, like we said before, now there are treaties, there are agreements, conventions of various nations coming together, United Nations on children, on women, and all those ones. But in Nigeria, according to the Constitution of Nigeria, it says that for such a law to be operational in Nigeria, they must be domesticated. So there's what we call domestication of these laws. Once it is domesticated in Nigeria, it will become a law in Nigeria jurisprudence. Some of the examples of some of the international treaties that have effect in Nigeria, they are the African Charter of Human and People's Rights, the African Charter of Rights and Welfare of Children, child, the Convention on Rights of the Child, the Rome Statutes of the International Criminal Court. In addition, foreign case precedents are also persuasive effect in Nigerian courts, but they are not binding on the courts. So there can be some judgments in foreign countries that may be persuasive, but they are not binding. Conclusion. In conclusion, it should be noted that all these sources contribute to Nigerian law. However, from the look of Nigerian legal system, the English law is very, very much here with us. It's still in play. Oftentimes, the courts tend to follow the decision of English judges because their judges are deemed to be more conversant with the act of doing the justice. Thus, we sometimes look up to English laws when there are lacuna in our own laws. Thank you.